here in New York City, and we are bringing the world to you. Today we are here talking about Mauritius, which was inspired by our trip to this gorgeous island in the middle of the Indian Ocean. And we originally went to Mauritius thinking it was just some tax haven, but little did we know we were going to fall in love with the culture and the food. And so, of course, here in New York City, the first person I thought of when I thought of Mauritian cuisine was my friend Nandini, who, by the way, guys, Nandini and her husband Yusef are here with us today to talk about Mauritius and talk about food and drink. But I have to say, these outfits you're rocking are pretty amazing.
Oh, thank you very much. This is a sari blouse from my mother that I'm sporting a little bit of Lululemons. So it's like a mix and match I'm going for here. A little bit of Mauritian, a little bit of Western stuff.
Well, you're rocking it. And Yusef?
It's again in the mother thing. It was a gift, so.
Yes, I love it.
I can pimp out anything if I need to.
Tell me, when I went to Mauritius, I really didn't understand what Mauritius cuisine was about. Like, what are the main ingredients to Mauritius cuisine?
Well, you know what? It's a bigger dialogue actually, because Mauritius it's a melting pot of diversity. So you've got different cuisines. So you've got French, Indian, Chinese, and Creole, and it's a mixture of all of those cuisines put together. So some of the ingredients could involve things like cumin, cardamom, but then you have the Chinese influence, so there's more noodles and rice. The African, they have more of the chutneys and more of the Creole sauces. Essentially, if you think about a bouillabaisse, that French influence, and it meant a curry, that's kind of how I describe it. It's tomato based. It's a lighter version of Indian food, and it incorporates all those countries, so it's really exciting.
I like the idea of a lighter version of Indian food.
Yes, it definitely is. It's definitely, I would say it's definitely healthier, and it uses coconut oil. It's got a very Ayurvedic base, which we're going to talk about, but it's certainly lighter, and you don't feel so full. When you go sometimes to Indians, and no offense, but you kind of come out and you're like, I ate so much food, and Well,
I don't feel that way in Mauritius.
No, exactly. Mauritius.
No, it's light.
It's light.
Light.
It's light.
Yes.
You guys seem to know a lot about food and a lot about drink, and I think it's because you guys have this incredible company called the Cocktail Architect.
Yes, it is.
What is the Cocktail Architect?
Well, essentially we're a experiential catering and cocktail company. So what we do is we actually tell the story of food in a multi-sensory sort of way.
With cocktails.
With cocktails, with food, and essentially that's really what we do in a nutshell.
Nandini, how did the journey start with you guys?
Well, you know what, we love food and drink. Like, we're the sort of people, if you ask us to come over to your house, we will bring dinner there for you. We pack everything but the kitchen sink. And actually, true story.
Kind of like this.
Kind of like this. This is how we roll. This is how we roll. So we were invited camping. Yusef actually got me to go camping, and it was one of the first times I'd been. And everybody was asked to make a dish. And so what we did is we rolled up, everybody had their plastic knives and forks and, their burger meats and, buns. And Yusuf and I roll out with a pop-up table, a black tablecloth. We had 2 Japanese knives, our spice racks, the oils. We had not one side of plastic because we are very into being green. And everybody was like, whoa, what just happened? And we cooked a curry on the stove, and everybody was like, we're like, yeah, this is how we roll. So it started with that love of food, basically. So that love of food, we thought, right, we've got to start doing something. Let's do some events. Let's do some actual pop-up experiential events. And why not start with something so beautiful as Ayurveda?
And what's Ayurveda?
So, really great question. I mean, right now everybody's into health and wellness, right? Everybody's trying to maintain a balance. And actually, Ayurveda is one of the oldest sciences, Indian sciences, I should say. And it was founded by the rishis, like these spiritual devotees that would meditate and do self-observation and reflection. And they came up with the notion that the body, the mind, and the spirit are connected. And actually, if you use Ayurvedic healing foods, you can actually prevent chronic illness. So the nourishing benefits of spices is very important, and actually balancing your body types. In Ayurveda there's doshas, there's different body types, and all of the spices have this healing, nourishing ability to help with things like digestion, all sorts of things. So that's really what Ayurveda is about, and it's about balance.
Cocktail Architect has come such a long way. Congratulations on all the success.
Thank you. Yeah, we're feeling good about it. It's definitely great. And the CA now stands for Culinary Artists. So what started in mixology has now gone into food. And today we're going to be telling you all about our Pima Junkie experience.
So what's piment?
So Pima is actually the French word for chili. So chili junkie. And essentially that's what I am. I'm a chili junkie. It's my drug of choice. Like if I had to pick any vice, it's chili. I'll carry chili sauce in my handbag. I like to spice things up. I like writing about food and drink in a spicy way and incorporating it into our food.
You're a girl after my own
So
heart
that's
because
what
I
it's-
love my food spicy.
Yes, good. So do we. So I think actually Yusef can take it from here. He's going to tell you what we're going to be making today.
So we're making this very sexy drink called Zinat.
Zina Taman was, actually she was Miss India back in the day, and she was a little bit risque because she was a little bit revealing, but she was a sexy, powerful woman, and I think this is a great drink. It can be for a man or woman, but we decided to give this, a little ode to Zina Taman and create this sexy drink for you.
So we had some this really beautiful spaghetti squash that we roasted with a little bit of paprika, salt, olive oil, roasted it, pureed it, put a little bit of cardamom. This is the cardamom, it's this beautiful green. It's when you pop it open, it's really hard shell, but it's all about the seeds inside. So when you open it, it's like
You see these black
beautiful,
seeds?
beautiful.
It's used in like masala chai, and actually it's really good for digestion, cardamom.
And there's this
It's
beautiful
good for you.
curry leaf that was roasted with the squash that we did today. If you blanch that stuff in oil, it just opens up. You don't want
Have
it
you
to.
smelled that before? Because
I haven't had fresh curry leaf in a long time, but this is really potent.
so
Right?
like,
Just one leaf.
Yeah.
It's quite decisive. How many leaves did you put in that?
Two for the whole mixture.
Well, I was just going to say, my grandmother used to, I have visions of her like taking these curry leaves and like dropping them into this karai, which is like almost like a cauldron, and hearing the sizzle of them in the pan. And it's,
But it's about
for
the
me,
smell.
it's like, yeah, exactly, the smell. There's such a universal, you can stick them in any kind of curry and they go great in cocktails. And actually, that's a big trend now, is putting spices into cocktails.
So we're gonna shake the drink now.
Yusef, no one shakes a cocktail like you.
This is such a fake, get all of them to.
Really, get it cold and get it open.
So is it true that the key to a good cocktail is ice?
And ice is thicker. You don't want, wet ice because it's diluted and be boring.
You know what we like to call our cocktails? Sex in a glass. We want them to tantalize your taste buds.
This is a beautiful fall cocktail,
Right.
Mauritian style.
Great.
So do we get to look at it or do we get to taste
We
it?
have to taste it and look at it.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do a cheers.
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 Oh my gosh.
It almost tastes like you're in the tropics. I don't know.
If you were trying to accomplish sex in the glass, well done, mission
Yeah.
accomplished.
Yes, the Z-nuts. There you go. She's sex in a glass.
Wow, this
too,
is
so.
amazing. But while this is amazing, we can't just be drinking. Otherwise, I'm going to be completely sauced. And
Okay.
these bites look way too good.
Okay, you want to talk about the bites?
Yes, please.
Okay, sure. So to go with the cocktail, with us, in the Mauritian sort of way of things, they're called gajaks. Because if you think about like dim sum, it's like little collection of little bites. So we call them gajaks. And it's comes I think from the French sort of influence of the country. So you have a cocktail when you first arrive, sort of like aperitif. So very much you'll have a cocktail with different gajaks. So we have two different gajaks here, and again those have been made using some of these beautiful healing spices. The first are my favourite. They're called Gato Primal. Now Gato Primal is it's essentially translated as, you remember that word Primal?
Yes,
So
yes,
Gato
chili.
is cake, so it's chili cake.
Oh, chili cakes.
So chili cakes, they're made with split peas actually, and they're deep fried, and they have some
Onion, garlic,
exactly, onion, garlic, cilantro.
cumin.
And whenever we would arrive in Mauritius, me and my family, before we even left the airport, we would go straight to the man that was selling these, the street vendor, and you would eat these piping hot, and you could put them in bread, you can have them with chili sauce. They're so versatile, but they're delicious. So that's the first bite that we have.
Is that vegetarian or does that
Yes.
have...
It is. It's actually vegan as well because of the split peas. So there's nothing in there that a vegan couldn't have either. So very
There's
healthy.
no animal products.
And you guys are going to share your secret recipes with us on Galavante, aren't you?
We will.
For sure,
we will.
for sure. They'll be on your site and our site. For sure, they will be there. No problem at all. And so the second, appetizer that we have, this is a take on sort of Peri Peri prawns because of that African influence, but it kind of met tandoori prawns. So it's kind of a little bit of an innovation, but it's using, again, delicious healing spices that we've got here. So you've got a bit of cumin, a little bit of cardamom, there's certainly some chili in there. Now chili, actually these green chilies, they're really great for your skin. They actually give you a facial. Obviously you have to be careful how many you eat. I mean, I eat these all the time at home,
Three a day,
don't I? I literally, I'll eat them on the side.
I think that's why your skin is glowing right now.
Thank
By
you,
the
I'll
way.
take it. But no, they're delicious. So those 2 bites to go with a cocktail. We've got another cocktail in a second as well. And then, Mauritius is all about the condiments. It really is like
other cultures, like Mexico, they have their salsas and everything. So sashimi is almost like a salsa. And then you have the raita, which is cucumber, yogurt, lemon juice, and sea salt.
Yes, exactly.
So when you're it's a little too spicy and hot, you eat that with it, it takes care of it. It kind of calms it down.
That's what it is. It's exactly. It's like balancing the heat, so they can be spicy. So the raita's idea is to cool the palate down. And so these are the condiments that go with it. And actually, Mauritian food isn't spicy. You actually add the spice to your liking, so that's really important. So yeah, it's really nice. You don't have to.
So you don't really get the dish when it's like.
No,
so
it shouldn't
hot.
be like burn the roof of your mouth off. Do you know what I mean? Like I like chili, but I put it on. Mauritians put their chili on after separately. That way, everybody gets to enjoy the meal and sort of like customize it to their own flavor. Do you know what I mean?
Choose your own adventure and spice.
Exactly. Our next drink is actually a drink that has no alcohol in it. We like to call them virgin drinks.
Snap peas, a little bit of aloe vera, organic, a little bit of lemon juice, nice tonic for you to get up in the morning.
Well, I can't wait to try it. Cheers!
Cheers!
It tastes like the garden. Fresh green peas, the aloe vera. Yeah.
I feel like a better person drinking this.
Yeah, it's like
You look better
hydration.
already. Like you're already like glowing
I'm
more. I don't know what's
glowing
going
to aloe
on.
vera. Well, I think before you guys came, Yusef and Nandini, I don't think people even knew where Mauritius was, being in the Indian Ocean and having all of the Creole and Indian influences.
Right.
But today, not only do they know where Mauritius is, they know a little bit about the history, but they also have an idea of how to bring Mauritius home to them.
Yeah, and hopefully, you get a bit of a understanding that Mauritian people, it's about the hospitality. It's in our DNA, You can't go to any relative's house unless they feed you or give you some food and have a good time. And that's really what I hope is a takeaway from here, that Mauritian food and Mauritian people are very hospitable, and it's all about the food and drink and enjoying yourselves. And
Cheers to
the
that.
moment.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. And with the Cocktail Architect, it is always about good food and good wine. We can't wait to see what you guys have in store. And we will have all of the recipes on Cocktail Architect as well as Galavante. Thank you so much for joining us for our slice of Mauritius this afternoon. Eat with us, drink with us, travel with us at Galavante.